So if you're someone that qualifies for the student loan forgiveness of the $10 to $20,000, be prepared to wait a while, or even worse, be prepared that it may not even happen. And the reason for that is because a lot of experts will tell you that what Biden did was illegal, right? He never had the authority to actually just forgive student loans the way he did. That kind of authority is usually given to him by Congress, and unfortunately, that process never went through Congress. He just basically did executive order and just forgave student loans. A lot of people tell you that what he did was illegal, and he never had that authority to do it. But he used the HEROES Act, which somewhat kind of gave him authority, but because he did it the way he did it, there's possibilities that all this can be challenged in court. And a lot of people are saying that if it does get to the Supreme Court, that it will be struck down. So it's gonna make so if you're someone that's qualified for the loan and you're waiting and you're trying to wait for the process, be prepared that it may not happen for a while, if at all. And based on this article based on Market Watch, it says Biden's student loan forgiveness plan could be blocked or delayed, expert warns. And obviously a lot of people, there's speculation, and you can make the argument that the reason why he did it was obviously because you have midterms coming up and he did it to buy votes. Because my thing is, why wait now? Why if you had this authority to do it, why didn't you do it as soon as you got in office? Or why didn't you do it 6 months from now? Why did you wait till now, right before midterms? Obviously midterms are coming up and you'll want to try to buy as many votes as possible, even though you know that it wasn't legal what you did, but you did it anyways, the way that he went about it. So based on this article, it says that a warning for those anticipating at least a portion of their student loans being forgiven. It's not necessarily a done deal. A veteran expert on student financial aid, an author who graduates from college, who doesn't, spoke to the reality on Thursday. He said that legal challenges to the loan forgiveness program announced by President Joe Biden in August are expected and could present a real obstacle. If the challenges make it to the U.S. Supreme Court, the loan forgiveness is likely to be blocked. At the very least, it will be delayed. President Biden's calls for $10,000 in student loan forgiveness for people earning up to $125,000 and $10,000 in additional loan relief for borrowers who received the Pell Grant while in college. Candidates referred to the Supreme Court ruling that once declared that Congress doesn't hide elephants in mouse holes, meaning a piece of the policy that has significant economic or political implications has to be explicitly authorized by Congress. President Biden's forgiveness plan hasn't come through Congress, though Biden administration has used the higher education relief opportunities for students, which is HEROES Act of 2003, which provided the loan forgiveness in certain situations as a legal justification for the new plan. So basically, like you said, like I told you before, he used the HEROES Act as a way to justify doing it. But my thing is, if you always had this authority, why are you waiting now to do it? It just tells me that you either were just stringing people along, or what you're doing is just trying to buy votes, even though you know that this will probably get struck down in Supreme Court. But obviously that won't happen until after the midterms, right? So it is frustrating, even though I'm someone that's not for student loan forgiveness, right? Like I paid off my student loans. I understand a lot of people are struggling, but I don't think it's fair for other people to be paying for other people's debts. And I'm not going to go into all that because obviously you can make a whole debate about that. But I understand how frustrating it could be for people that are expecting this, that have been waiting for this, for the past 2 years to say, you know what, look, man, what are you going to do with these student loans? And then you come up with a plan, and then only to be knocked down, in the Supreme, to be struck down by Supreme Courts, which it could potentially happen. But for me personally, it's like, I look at it this way, man. I'm the type of person that I don't like to rely on government stuff because they are the most inefficient and the unorganized entity. They don't do things. If you look at anything that's run by the government, it's not done efficiently. It's always unorganized. So if you're someone that has debt, like, my advice would be to make sure you pay it. You got to make sure that you handle that and not rely on the government or anyone else to do it for you, because more than likely, like, they're not the only person in charge of your finances is yourself, and you're relying on somebody else to handle your finances is just a recipe for disaster, right? So that's just my thoughts on it. So Kantrowitz said the HEROES Act may not necessarily apply here. It's an expansive interpretation, he said. Still, Kantrowitz said that while there's opposition to Biden's plan, especially from Republicans, there may not be a group that has a stronger legal standing to file a lawsuit. That is, a group needs to have experienced direct economic harm in order to make it the case. Kantrowitz isn't sure any group, including borrowers who failed to qualify for debt relief under the Biden's plan's terms, has such legal justification. So basically what he's saying is, in order for, so obviously what he did was illegal, but in order for this to be even, have a chance to be struck down by the courts, a group of people have to come in and actually challenge it. And then not only do they have to challenge, but they have to show that it's done harm to them. And it's hard to prove that this has done harm to anyone, even if you're, a taxpayer. Like, how has it done any like direct harm to you? And it's hard to prove that. So a group of people that are challenging that have to at least show that it, prove harm. But I mean, obviously, there's a whole legal, there's a whole legal way they have to go about it. But and they'll be doing that in court if anyone goes in and challenges it. But I suspect that there's going to be another group or Republicans that are probably going to do that. So who knows how that's going to go? But if you're someone that's waiting for that, then if this is going to be held in court battle, it's going to be a while before you get some resolution to what's going to happen with your debt. All right. And it says the fact that you didn't get forgiveness doesn't mean you were actually harmed, Kantrowitz said, though he noted that members of Congress might be able to file lawsuits. Now, if Biden's plan does go through, Kantrowitz said that many borrowers will still need to be prepared to file an application. Kantrowitz said it should be coming out in early October, and until they meet the income qualifications, the Biden administration has said that borrowers should fill the form out by November 15 if they want their debt canceled before payments are scheduled to resume at the start of next year. Kantrowitz also warned that those borrowers who reached out by phone to their loan service providers with questions might be in for a wait. The call centers, they've added staff and they've extended their hours, but nevertheless, some people will be in infinite hold while waiting to talk to someone, he said. So if you're someone that's calling up these loan providers, man, be expected to wait a long time. And if you've ever had talked to these people on the phone, the wait times will be forever, right? You're gonna be waiting there hours. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be doing that on purpose, just so you can just hang up and then not even have to deal with it. Because let's be real, they have no idea how to handle this situation. This is a complete mess. Like, the way this was handled was just it was done poorly. Right? It's just like you just made people wait 2 years to make even a payment on their loans, and then all of a sudden you say, "Oh, we're going to forgive the loans," and now service providers have to also wait because now there's a chance that it might be challenged in court. So it's just leaving everybody in limbo and not sure what you're supposed to do. So it's going to be a complete mess. I expect it's going to be taking a while to get it resolved, and I see this like being like after midterms, this is going to be a huge mess that no one knows how to do. Like, and you have reports that. If it does resume, like 90% of borrowers aren't ready to make payments on their loan. That's crazy. It's like, what have you been doing the past 2 years, right? You have paid no payments, no interest, no nothing, and still 90% of people aren't ready to make payments on their loan. So it's gonna be interesting to see where it goes. To see if anybody even actually challenges it, because it is obviously legal. I mean, you could challenge it is, people can challenge it if they want to, because obviously what he did is legal. It has to be done through Congress. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. So, but yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. If you got any comments or questions, make sure to leave it down below. Hit the like button, share, and please, if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. All right, so you guys take care and have a good one. Later.